we can see that I have a number of variations of the logo. And let's say that one of these is one that I want to use. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new artboard, and I'm going to put my logo that I want to use on this new artboard. So let's just say, for example, this one here. So I'll just create that new artboard. So here we go. I'll just add artboard. Here it is. Now, if we have a look at my artboard tool, this is artboard number 5. Okay. Even though there's a 6th one somewhere. Okay, this is 5. So I might just move artboard 6 to the very top. Okay, so now it's artboard 1. And I'll just move this over here. And I'm just going to expand, enlarge it, scale it up so it fits into this 1024 by 768 window. I'll be able to scale things down in the web, but it's a good idea, because what's going to happen is when I export this, it's going to be exported as a pixel-based design, okay, because I'm putting it into a web environment. Even though web now can handle vector graphics. So I'll talk about that in a moment. But here we are. So here's this artboard. It's 1024 by 768. I might just reset all my windows so that I'm not getting too distracted. And this is what I want to actually use. So if I go File, Save As, and I should save it anyway. If I go Save As, and I might just call this Illustrator type, so I know what I've got. And if I look at it here, these are my Save As choices. Now, this PDF is a file format that I would use if I was going to print. A PDF preserves the vector quality. Now, interestingly, there's a relatively recent file format called an SVG, a scalable vector graphic. And the new web, this is HTML5, and new websites will support vector graphics, whereas previously everything that went into a website needed to be converted to a pixel-based format. Okay, but I don't have any of these pixel-based formats here. So what I need to do is export this. So File, Export. I'll go Export As. I'll just call it Illustrator type, so I know what it is when I look at it. Now, the PNG, which is what's come up by default, is a PNG is like a JPEG, except a PNG file format will preserve the transparency. So this will come in, and this is what I will be saving this as. I just want the logo. I don't want a white background. I want the logo to fit over whatever I put it over the top of when I bring it into the website. And so in this website that we're going to create, I'm going to be placing it over a photo ground. Okay, so a PNG is what I will use. I'll use my artboards. I'll choose my range, and remember I made this artboard number 1. I could have made it artboard number 5 or 6. That's all fine. If I actually wanted a few, I could say 1 to 5 and export all of those artboards at once. But I just want 1 in this time. So I'll just call this the logo. And maybe I'll call it Craig logo, so I know what it is when I see it. Always a good idea to name your file formats, and I will export it. Now we can see here, I'll actually keep this at a high res. It will be fine to use, but I can also bring it down to a screen-based work. In fact, maybe I will do that. And here with the background color, I can choose transparent. Okay, and you see we've got that pale grey and white checkerboard which denotes transparency. If I did want a white background, I could certainly do that. I'm just going to choose transparent and export. Okay, so if I just quickly bring that back in, and I'll put it over the top of something else. Here it is here, place, and there it is. And you can see that it has no background in it. So that's exactly what I want to use. Okay, so just to show you again, file, export. There's a few different ways we can do it. I just choose this export as, and we can choose if we want to export things as a JPEG, we can do that. So this will also be a suitable file format to use in web. If you created a digital illustration, for example, of a scene, a landscape or something, you might just want the whole thing there, so as a JPEG. And a PNG, which is the same as a JPEG. It's a pixel-based format, but it has the transparency as well. Okay, so there we have it. So do we have any questions just as we wrap up